everybody. My name is Carrie Horning. I am one of the Career Connected Learning Specialists with the NCESD 171. I'm going to be your host today. I'm super excited to welcome you to the NCW MVP interview series. This is brought to you by Career Connect Washington and the Apple STEM Network. I think a win today really looks like each of you leaving with a greater understanding of the services provided by these community partners and how they might help your students and families, or how you might even be able to help them enhance or even continue to provide the services that they do. So today's the first one in the series of interviews with just a few of our most valuable partners from Career Connected Learning. So think of it a little bit as spring training or preseason as we get comfortable here. We're going to kick off the series today with our guest, Rosalyn Henley. She's a mobility manager and travel trainer with People for People. Rosalyn and I had a chance to connect a few times prior to today's interview. And I can tell you she's a total superstar. I asked her for some fun facts about herself, and she told me she enjoys growing plants, and throughout working from home during the pandemic has kind of taken an interest in bird watching. So I knew right away we were going to be a great team because I have yet to meet a plant I can grow. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was in Baltimore at Camden Yards watching the Orioles and the Blue Jays. So that's the extent of my bird watching, but I'm all on board. So anyway, so everybody grab your lunch, sit back, get ready for an extra dose of professional nutrition today. And we're gonna kick this off. Rosalyn, welcome. Thank you for being our first guest. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right, let's do it. So tell me a little bit about People for People and the services you offer. And actually, let me restate that. Tell me a lot. Tell me everything, because I know there's multiple services that People for People offers.
So as you said, my name is Rosalyn Henley, and I'm with People for People out of the Moses Lake office. So our corporate office is in Yakima, but we have 7 other offices, and they offer, the other offices offer employment and training. We have a 211 resource call center. We have Meals on Wheels, and we have others and other services that they offer in the other areas. In this area, so Moses Lake, that's where I'm housed at. We only offer transportation services, and we offer transportation services in Adams, Brent, and Lincoln counties. We go from Moses Lake into the Tri-Cities and Moses Lake to Wenatchee Monday through Friday. We go to from Moses Lake into Ritzville and make connections with special mobility services. In Tri-Cities, we do stop at the Three Rivers Transit Center. And then in Wenatchee, we stop at Link Transit. So we make connections with all of the other transit agencies in the surrounding areas. And we also offer travel training. And what that means is if anybody needed assistance with learning how to read the bus schedules, or if they needed a little bit of help or don't feel secure enough within themselves to use public transportation, then we would ride the bus with them.
Nice.
And so what we would, and these services are open to the general public, and they're fare free. And in our office, we have our regional manager who oversees all of the operations in this area. And then we have our driver supervisor who oversees the drivers. And then we have our scheduler, our lead scheduler. And then if you guys can see my map right here. So this is our service area map. And we also do, I don't know if anybody has heard of the 211 resource call center. So our resource call center, what that one does is if anybody had any questions in regards to any services surrounding within their communities or in the surrounding areas, they could just call 211 and they ask them about a specific service. And if it is registered in our system, then they will forward them the information. And then they will also send an email notification to the agency saying, hey, we sent a referral. This person is asking about this service, and then they'll give them their number.
So what's that look like? So if somebody needs a ride, I mean, are we talking to the grocery store or, a doctor's appointment or, to a high school sporting event or
For
what is it?
For transportation?
Yeah, yes.
So for transportation, we have our fixed routes, and that one will take you, so we have the ones that go from Moses Lake into Othello, and then it does run within its county. In Grant County, because we have access to public transportation, Grant Transit is always going to be the first option. They're the ones who determine who uses our services in Grant County for paratransit, and that's
Great.
People know it as curb to curb service. Or
yeah, okay, good. Well, they're one of our community partner interviews coming up as well. One of our MVP partners. So good.
Yeah.
That'll be a nice connection.
Yes, so we have a contract with them, but if people want to go from Moses Lake into Wenatchee, then they don't have to go through GTA. They just have to go to the bus stop. So we have a bus stop at Confluence Health, and it leaves at 7:45 in the morning, and then our second shuttle leaves at 10:30, and then it'll go to the GTA at 8 in the morning, and then the next one is at 10:45 from GTA.
Okay, great.
And again, it's open to the general public, and they're fare free. Right now with COVID, I do encourage them to call and schedule their trips. It's not required, but we have had days where our service is full, and with COVID, we do have capacity limitations. So if we have a 14 passenger bus, we are only allowed to have like 4 or 5 passengers, and once we have those passengers on board, then our bus is full.
Okay, and I assume masks are required on
masks are required, yes. Okay. And if they don't have a mask, our drivers have one
and provide one. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
And
then, so are there any common misconceptions out there about people that you'd like to clear up? Anything about what the offerings are, or anything of that nature?
Yes. So the common misconception is that our services are only for seniors or people just with that are handicapped. So even our fixed routes, a lot of people think, well, no, I have to call and I have to be low income. But that's not true. It's open to the general public and it's fare free. So right now we have some kids from Othello using our Othello or our Tri-Cities connector to go to the college out there.
Nice.
So we drop them off at the college and then we pick them up on our way out. And then same with Moses Lake, when people need to go to medical appointments in Wenatchee, then we drop them off. So our fixed route or our fixed stops are at the medical facilities.
Okay.
In Chelan and Douglas.
So if I jump on a fixed route, but I wanted to get off somewhere along that route, but not necessarily a medical facility, is that possible?
So we stop at Link Transit. So the thing is, we stop at Link Transit and then they can go from there.
Okay.
But if they needed to go somewhere else that is a social service agency, we could drop them off there too. They just need to let us know in advance so that we can put them in our system. And so that way on our way back, we can pick them up.
Okay. And that's actually a great time to let everybody know that in the chat, Rosenda did put her contact information as well as the email address for the website. That's good to know. People really should be calling in for reservations, and if they have specific requests, just call and ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, so tell me this, because I'm kind of one of those feel-good people. Is there a story that's kind of stuck with you, a service that you provided for somebody, that's just kind of a feel-good story?
Well, we have a few. The ones that I can remember are, so one of them is this lady, she needed transportation to go from her home to go visit her daughter, but she didn't want to burden her daughter with having to go pick her up, and so we were providing the service for her, and the lady then got sick and we were taking her to her medical appointments, and at first she was hesitant to call us because, again, she was told that she wouldn't be eligible for our service from somebody else. And once she started using our service, she was like, I love it. I'm so independent. I don't have to rely on anybody. If I say I'm going to go get my hair done, that's what I'm going to go do. And I don't have to, have to be like begging my friends or family members to drop me off to these locations. Unfortunately, she passed, and her daughter called us months later, and she said, she's like, I cannot express to you how much my mom loved your guys' service. She's like, sorry, I get a little misty-eyed with it. She's like, my mom was so excited. She's like, every time I see your bus, I smile because I see hope. She's like, I know that if my mom loved your service and you guys gave her the opportunity to be self-sufficient, that you guys are doing the same for other people. So that one stuck with me because we do this often, and I think that a lot of the times we think, oh, it's just, for us, it's just bus service, or for those people who have their own transportation. But I know for me, before this job, I never thought about transportation being anything, and then having these stories and having these people tell us stuff like that, it's very heartwarming.
Yeah, I can feel it. So thank you for sharing that. I like to ask questions like that, because a lot of times, especially right now during COVID, when we're all on Zoom calls all day long, even this kind of being in the background while people are eating their lunches, when you hear something like that, sometimes it does strike. And then it reminds you that when you're in a situation where maybe you're looking for a service for a student or a student's family member, or a personal family member, whatever, you can kind of dial back, to that heartfelt story. So I see it was tough, but thank you for sharing it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Okay. Back to, some more information. I think that's kind of a good lead in as well. You talked about some of the students from Othello getting rides into the Tri-Cities to attend college. Again, those specific routes, where can everybody go to find the routes?
So we can go to www.pfp.org, as in people for people. And then there's some icons on there. There's like Meals on Wheels, transportation. So then you just go into the transportation one and then scroll down. I don't know if I can, and then we scroll down and then it'll show us. Can you see that?
No, you know what? Maybe we could take a look at the PowerPoint. If you want to show us, maybe.
Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so the
PowerPoint. Yeah, perfect.
So this one's for Adams County, and this one shows like our community connectors and the ones that we have that are available by reservation only. And then it has like the map of all the areas where we stop, and we serve, and how they connect with each other. And then on the sides, it has all of the routes that go out of those counties.
Okay.
So we have that one for Adams County, and then we have this one for Grant County. And so the one from Grant County is the one that goes into the Chelan and Douglas areas.
Yeah, I think we actually have a couple people on from that area as well. So good. And this is all on the website. They can find that.
Yes. So if you go in there, it'll give you all of the schedules. It'll tell you where the stops, the time stops, and the time stops, and the and contact information. Okay,
great. You shared a little bit too about in Grant County, in our where you and I are located. It's basically the transportation. However, as you spread out across the state, the services kind of expand. So I do believe we maybe have a couple, participants, spectators maybe more so from that Yakima area. Can you talk a little bit about the employment and training opportunities that exist down there?
So I am not very familiar with all of the programs that are out there. I just know that they do help with, they have adult programs, they have work first programs, they help with they have a dislocated work program,
Okay.
a youth one, diversion, and they help with basic foods. And the
Great.
counties that they serve out there are Kittitas, Klickitat, Skamania, and Yakima.
Okay, all right. And they also have in that area a Meals on Wheels program?
They do, yes, we do.
Is that only in the Yakima area?
So the Meals on Wheels is, as far as I know, yes.
Okay.
I can verify that and get back to you, but as far as I know, it's
Yeah.
throughout Yakima County.
Okay. Again, all that information is on the website though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Well, okay. So how about this? We're kind of winding down a little bit. I knew it was going to go quick, but can you talk to us a little bit about, for everybody who's listening, if they want to help people for people or in any way, what are some of the greatest needs?
So we're always looking for funding, and so that's always helpful. But
how do you get your funding?
How do we write grant? Well, our director of transportation, we write grants, and we get our funding through WSDOT. Grant Transit Authority sponsors us, and then Confluence Health, Columbia Basin Cancer Foundation. Also, another way to greatly support us is to help us spread the word about our services. And even within your agencies, if you guys can think of anything that we can help with, or if you know of anybody needing assistance with transportation, just give us a call, because I have received calls from the Seattle area, people wanting to get to Moses Lake or wanting to go into Spokane. And I have mapped out a route for them. And then we have even done it from the Tri-Cities or just anywhere. And if I don't know the answer, I will reach out to the transit in those areas. So
that's awesome. So we've got a comment in the chat box. Do you qualify, or does People for People qualify for the city tourism funds? You know that?
We do not, because we do not, because we are funded through WSDOT. So I don't think that is something that we can do, but I will have to verify that.
Okay.
I'll have to confirm. I'll have to talk to my boss about it.
Another comment.
One of the reasons why I ask is I think Columbia Basin Cancer Foundation qualified for it, and so it would not hurt to check into it. That's for sure.
I will look into it. Thank you.
Good to know. Yeah, another comment in the chat says, when you were talking about that story about one of your writers, love that so much. People for People is hope on wheels. So that's pretty good. So what other, I sort of interrupted. So what other ways, can people help, or what are some of the other needs? Are there volunteer opportunities, or what does that look like?
So we also need drivers out of the Wenatchee area. We need drivers from Lincoln and Adams County. So if you know of anybody needing a job, People for People is a great company to work for. I'm not saying that just because I work here. They are very family oriented, and they're flexible. They're very flexible. So we need drivers. Help us spread the word about our services. And if you have any extra cash, send it our way.
I love it. That's awesome. So do the drivers have to have a CDL?
They do not. So no. So they do not have to have a CDL. We have 14 passenger buses, and we have 10 passenger buses. So
okay. Great. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like I've asked most of the questions that I have. How about any of our guests, any of our spectators have any questions out there that they'd like answered? No? Okay, I do have one more, Rosenda. So we talked about this a little bit. People for People is fairly new to me as well. Kind of, we became acquainted late this summer. So
Mhm.
what's some other information that maybe I didn't even know to ask you that you'd like to share out about People for People?
So we're open to the general public. We're for free. We make connections with other transit services. We have, and again, if we can make this work, we have in the past taken, so like in Adams County, for example, we have taken kids from like the FFA, went around the fair time. We have picked them up from the fair and taken them to their sports practices, and then we picked them up from there and took them back to the fairgrounds. With the Adams County Health District, we've worked to where they have a Hey Kids program, or they had, and so we were picking the kids up from home, and then we were taking them out to do activities during the summer, just so that they weren't staying home. And then if that was a few hours, they'd have lunch, and then they'd board the bus, and then we'd take them back home.
Nice. I think it's an amazing service, and I think that key that you said earlier, really call and ask. If you don't know, or if you have students, maybe let your students know, let the families of your students know if there's a need to call and ask that it might be filled. It looks like you guys have over 55 years of service, making
Yes.
people happy and getting them where they need to go. So that's
Yes.
amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's good work. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. We said we were going to run until about 12:45. If there aren't any other questions, then, we'll give you back that 5 to 6 minutes. But I want to make sure that I thank everybody for attending. This was the first of our MVP Most Valuable Partner series. And we're looking forward to it. Every Wednesday we're going to be doing this. We do have Grant Transit Authority, OIC. We've got a handful of other community partners that will be joining us. So hopefully we'll see you next week. And Rosenda, you did fabulous. I knew it was going to go very quickly, but I think you got all the detailed information in there. So thank you very much.
Carrie,
Thank
can I
you.
ask something real quick?
Oh, sure.
This is Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Hi. I was just looking on the website on the door-to-door transportation. It says that like low income, youth, persons with disabilities, veterans, does it have to be a combination of them? Like, do you have to be low income plus disabled, or low income and youth, or is it for those categories separately?
Those categories are separately. It doesn't have to be all the same.
And then have you worked with any school districts to do transportation? If we have a couple kids that go like from Quincy to Moses Lake or to Wenatchee for their either Running Start or their Skills Center courses?
So what we have done is, I have not reached out to the school districts, no, because in Grant County, our services are limited because we have access to public transportation here. But we have worked with the school districts like in Adams County, and in Wenatchee. We have talked to the college actually, and in Wenatchee, and we had talked about possibly if they had any students that needed to go from Moses Lake, Ephrata, or Quincy into Wenatchee to go to the college, we could do that. I know we were providing transportation for one individual a while ago, but I have not as of recent, but we could do that.
Okay.
Nicole, I'll reach out to you after this. We did actually do some specific attempt to do some specific mapping out for Quincy students to CB Tech. We weren't able to, make that happen in time for the bell schedule at CB Tech and whatnot. But I'll check in with you after the fact.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. Any other questions, anyone? No. All right. Well, again, thank you all very much for joining us. I hope this was a decent dose of professional nutrition to go along with your lunch hour. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Well, thank you all. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks, Rosinda. Have a great day.